Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and cheers everybody. I welcome you once again to my Ielts listening video, and this video is about FAQs, frequently asked questions. I've noticed one thing on my listening videos. Many of you commented to ask me certain things, and I'm going to answer those things. Some of them are myths that students believe, that's not right, but some of the things are there that students do not know. So let's take a start. A very common question which is asked, that will I hear different accents in Ielts? Is it British English, American English, Australian English, Canadian English, or is there any non-native accent and all that? Let me tell you, Ielts stands for International English. Next, language testing system and all that. International English. It's not just Ielts, English language testing system. It's international English. Now when we say international English is the language of the British people, the language of Canadians, Americans, Australians, the people who live in New Zealand, New Zealanders, right? And then the people who live in Africa, and some non-native accents as well. So in Ielts you are going to come across a variety of dialects of English language, but don't worry about that. Let me tell you, all those dialects are standard English dialects. If it is American English, they are going to present standard American English, that is North American accent. If it is British English, there is going to be standard British English which is understood all over the world. It's not going to be any regional accent. And if it is Australian, it's going to be very clear Australian English without any slangs and without chewing the words and all that. So everything is going to be very, very clear. You don't need to worry about that. So definitely you're going to come across a variety of accents in each section. There can be a different accent, especially in section 3 where there are 3-4 speakers. One can be non-native, one can be from Canada, one can be from New Zealand, one can be from Australia, and most of the time the students don't even realize which accent is that. But let me tell you, the simple thing is, or the good news is, there is standard English in Ielts listening which is spoken and understood all over the world. After that, the next question is, which is commonly asked, what sort of questions will I get, or what sort of questions are there going to be? As you are familiar with completion questions, multiple choice questions, then we've got matching questions, right, these type of questions. So short answer questions, I'm going to make a separate video about that, where I'm going to tell you all the type of questions which can be asked in Ielts listening, or the questions that come in Ielts listening. I'm going to tell you about all these questions in a separate video. Then after that, there's a question, will I get every question type in the test? No, you will not get every question type in the test, because there are around 12-13 question types, and for each question type there are minimum 3 to 4 questions, sometimes 5, sometimes 6, 7 as well, but minimum 3 to 4 questions of each question type. So in one test you will not get all question types. In one test maximum you will be able to get like 7 to 8 question types, not more than that, right? 7, 8 or 9 question types out of all. So you will not get all question types in one test as well. Next, this is commonly asked, why are there different listening situations and question types? Now basically Ielts tests a range of listening skills. This is very important. They test a range of listening skills that you need to live, work or study in an English speaking environment. When you go to an English speaking environment, you need to rent a room somewhere, you need to find a job, you need to attend the lectures, right? You need to interact with the people in the society. So there is a range, actually it's just for that. Then this means that you need to be able to understand different types of spoken English in a range of formal and informal context. So yes, there are going to be different situations and there are going to be different question types. Well, the next question is, how can I make best use of listening time to read the questions? Okay, that's a very good question. You know, in Ielts listening, before each section they give you around half minute to read the questions. In section 1, 2 and 3 they give you some time to read the questions in the middle as well. right? So how to use that time wisely? I would say you should read first the title. I mean, in the title it's written like answer all the questions, and it's written what question type is that, and then it's written no more than one word, no more than two words, no more than three words. You got to read and underline this piece of information. After that, when you read the question, while reading the question, you should ask yourself a question that in order to answer this question, what do I need? What sort of information I need to answer this question? Sometimes you can do one thing. If it is a sentence completion question, wherever there is a blank, you can put a question mark over there, or you can write what. For example, if they say the time of the meeting is, now you understand it's the timing. The day of the party is, it means it's the day. So whatever the question is, you need to read the question in a way that when I answer this question in the listening, what do I need to focus? Where I need to focus to answer that very question, that is important. Now at the end of each section, they give you half a minute to check your answers. Checking your answers means sometimes the audio can be fast, where your answer you were unable to complete your answers. Now for example, if the answer was very important person, now the audio was running very fast and you wrote VRYIMPPERSON, or you wrote it in the short form, so you can just take a look and you can complete some of those words. And if you think there is nothing to check, you can jump to section 2 or the next section, and you can spend that time to check your answers to read the questions of the very next section. So this is how you can use your time wisely. Well, the next thing is, what are keywords? Let me tell you, in Ielts listening and in Ielts reading, this terminology is used. We call it keyword. Now in question, you need to identify a word known as keyword. This word is going to give you the hint about the question and about the answer in the audio or in the passage. This term keyword is only used for Ielts reading and for Ielts listening. In listening, keyword is a word that in the audio they are going to use either the same word or the synonym of that word, and the answer is going to come closer to that, or a word that takes you to the answer, or a word that gives you the hint about the answer. We call it the keyword. Now in reading, keyword actually helps you to scan the passage and to locate the place where answer might be. In listening, keyword is a word that helps you reach the part of the audio where answer comes. And remember, in listening and reading, there are so many synonyms. They don't use the same words all the time. 95% they use synonyms. That's why I can say this bluntly, Ielts reading and Ielts listening, basically they are actually the game of synonyms. If you know synonyms, and these are not the synonyms you can learn from any ordinary English dictionary. These are different synonyms. I would say rather, instead of synonyms, I'll use the word paraphrasing. They write a word. Now for example, I've got this mug of coffee in my hand. Now the vocabulary word is mug. Right? In the audio, what are they going to do? They are going to paraphrase it. They're going to say, there is a container in which we usually drink coffee. There is a container in which we usually drink coffee. Now a container in which we usually drink coffee is a mug. Understand? So in listening and in reading, in listening in the audio and in reading in the passage, they always paraphrase the keywords. So you need to find the keywords, then you got to see how they are going to paraphrase. What are the possible synonyms, or what can be the possible paraphrasing? Once you understand this thing, Ielts listening and Ielts reading will be a piece of cake for you. The next question that is commonly asked, what general approach should I take or I should take to the listening test? Okay, let me read this question again. What general approach should I take to the listening test? Now, once the recording begins, use the words on the question paper to help you keep your place. Right? The words on the question paper. There is an example at the start of the test, and the first 3 sections are divided into 2 parts. This is very good. In the beginning of each section, they just tell you, you're going to listen to a conversation between a house renting agent and a student who wants to rent a room. Okay, or you're going to listen to a conversation between and then they tell you. You're going to listen to a conversation or you're going to hear a conversation about, so they always tell you. Now this very thing can help you visualize what they are going to talk about. And after that, they divide section 1, listening section 1, listening section 2, section 3 into 2 parts. In section 1, as I told you before, questions 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 will come first, then there is the break. Next they've got questions 6 to 10 or 7 to 10 or 5 to 10, like that. So you can use this time wisely. Remember, the key to success in IELTS listening and IELTS reading, the only key to success is your understanding. If you understand, I mean, the passage can be easy, the passage can be difficult, audios can be easy, the audios can be difficult, but if you understand the questions, and that is your only purpose to listen to the audio, that is your only purpose to read the passage. If you understand the question and you get to know that what sort of answer you need for this question and what is the keyword over here, how to get help of keyword in the form of synonymous phrase or how they paraphrase that, IELTS reading and listening, they are going to be quite simple for you. Okay, another question which is commonly asked, how can I improve my score in the listening test? I've made a lot of videos about listening, I've solved the tests, I've given you the plan, I've told you a lot of things about that. So you can help to improve your score by making sure that you know what each question type tests. Now there is another thing, we do a lot of question types but we don't know what does each question type test. Once you understand the type of thing they're going to test, the type of ability basically, because IELTS is a test of your ability in English language, right? So if you know, for example, if there is multiple choice, what sort of ability do they test? I'll make a separate video on that as well. If it is short answer question, what sort of ability do they test? Then you can inculcate that very ability in you and hence you can answer the questions. And by having a general approach for each set of questions. Okay, well, I'll give you an action plan as well in my subsequent videos, so that will help you. Then there is another question, what else can I do to prepare for the listening test? I would suggest you should listen to a variety of dialects of English language, try to listen to a variety of accents of English language, and try to listen to a variety of conversations. You must listen to dialogues, right? You must listen to a lecture in English, dialogues, lecture. You must listen to some talk shows where there are 3, 4, 5 people, they are talking, right? One is host, then one person is saying one thing, second is saying second thing, they agree, they disagree and all that. That will help you with section 3. And for section 4, it's a very good idea to listen to some documentaries on Discovery or National Geographic in English about some research, some scientific things. So that is going to help you as well. I'm just answering your questions. These are frequently asked questions and I always wanted to make a video, and luckily today I'm making this video. Okay, then after that, how is the listening test marked? There is a marking criteria. I've just told you about that. If you get 30 correct answers, you'll be getting 7 bands in listening. If you get 35 correct answers, you'll be getting 8 bands in listening, and if you get 39 correct answers, you'll be getting 9 bands in listening. With one mistake, they will give you 9 bands. So there is a band calculator, you can easily understand. They have a range of answers, like from 30 to 34, you'll be from 31 to 34 you will get 7.5, on 30 you will get 7 band, from 35 you'll get 8 band, 36 8.5, like this. So this is the marking criteria. Next question which you commonly ask me, is correct spelling important? And there's another part to this question, that whether in the on the answer sheet do we need to write small letters or capital letters or first capital or other small. Let me tell you, there are some students who are getting low band score in listening just because of spelling. Whenever I teach my students, I conduct one listening test. After that, I ask them, check your answers and tell me how many answers are correct. Then after that, we have a debriefing session on the mistakes. And one student told me, sir, my 4 answers are wrong just because of spelling. Now let me tell you, these 4 questions, that is equal to 1 band. Now for instance, if you are looking for band score 7.5, right, and you're getting 4 wrong answers, like for example instead of 32, 33 you got 28, 29 correct answers, so it will cost you 1 band score. So you need to see whether due to spelling, if your answers are wrong because of spelling, you need to learn the spelling. I have also shared a handout where there are around 1000 plus words which are expected to be the answers in IELTS listening test. There is a complete handout, so you can just get that handout, print it out. There are 7-8 pages, and all the words which might come as answers in IELTS listening, those words are there. If you mastered those spelling, you will not have spelling mistake, and sometimes just overcoming spelling problem can increase your 1 band. Second part of the question is, do we need to write capital letter for the answer, small letter? Let me tell you, both are okay. On the answer sheet, when you are writing the answers, whether it is listening or it is reading, if you write capital letters, correct, no problem. If you write all small letters, correct, no problem. If you write first letter capital, other letters small, correct, there is no problem. And you can even write discursive writing where you join the letters together. So discursive writing is okay, but all the letters should stand clear. I mean, they should be very, very clear. It's not your C looks like E and your F looks like T. Okay, it should not be like that. So correct spelling, yes, it matters. If you write wrong spelling, your answer will be considered wrong. What a pity that you picked the right answer from the audio, but just because of a minor error in spelling, your correct answer is going to be wrong. And again, what a double pity, there are 4-5 answers which seem to be wrong just because of spelling. So this is what you guys need to do. Thank you very much. These were the commonly asked questions. Shmaila actually made a list of all these questions, and she gave me this list, and she said these are the questions which you must answer because our viewers, our subscribers, they have the problem. So I made a list, and then there were around 11 questions which I answered. If you have more questions, please ask, give the comment on this video. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to comment my video. If you have any further questions, just ask that question and I would love to answer your question. I run another channel, Asad Yaqub Vlogs. You can subscribe to that channel as well. Apart from this, I teach IELTS online. Online classes are live classes where I will teach you live through WhatsApp call or through a Skype call, and of course I charge fee for that. So if you want to join my online IELTS classes, my number is given. You can contact me only on WhatsApp. Okay, no IMO, no Skype, right? You can contact me on WhatsApp or you can make a direct call. Thank you very much. Asad Yaqub wishes you all the best with your IELTS preparation, and I wish you a fantastic band score. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.